Do you know the concept of dowry? Ages ago, we have this concept that daughter is brought up in a certain environment. She's used to certain things, maybe a bed, maybe the utensils in which she cooks. She's used to that in her mother's house.
Yeah.
So that is the same is replicated in her in-laws'
In-laws'
house,
house.
so that she does not feel the difference and the change.
3 ऐसे लीगल लॉज बताओ जो एवरी फीमेल शुड बी नोइंग.
First of all, I would like everybody to learn about BNSs. The second, for all the working women, I would say POSH. The third, I would say, is depending on which religion you belong to, know your personal laws. As per law, marital rape is not a rape. That no means no is for anybody who's not married. If it's a working woman, you mostly do not get an alimony.
Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of my podcast Rise and Shine with Dr Minal. Today, as we go forward in my podcast, I'll introduce you to Har Rachan Kaur. She's a senior lawyer in Hyderabad, practicing since last 20 years. She did her LLB from Osmania University. She did her post-graduation from Melbourne. She completed her post-graduation specially for medical legal cases in 2025. She keeps herself updated. And the most characteristic step or the case she has taken is for the Satyam scam case from 2010 to 2012. Now, the mission of her calling for my podcast is I feel as female, we all should be aware of the legal rights we have. As women in India, we should be legally literate. We all are talking about financial literacy, financial independence, but here, Har Rachan Kaur today will talk about our rights and how secured we are legally in India. So I welcome her for this episode of podcast. So welcome to my podcast. Thank you so much for taking out time.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting me to your channel. Thank you.
So let's start. So there are lots of things about financial literacy. अभी लोग बात कर रहे financial independence के बारे में, financial literacy के बारे में. बट आपको नहीं लगता कि इन इंडिया जहाँ पे मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन इज फीमेल्स वी शुड ऑल्सो टॉक अबाउट आवर लीगल राइट्स. सो लीगल लिटरेसी भी शुड बी ऑल्सो द कॉमन टॉक, है ना. सो वॉट यू हैव टू से एज अ लॉयर अबाउट इट?
My answer to this would be very simple, like how you teach economics in school, how you teach civics and history in school. I think law should also be a subject. I'm not telling you to go in detail about law, but yes, what are the legal rights of a woman? What are the legal rights of people in general? Now, of late, in the last 15 years, we have seen all the laws being gender neutral laws, but still women are given a little extra, a little, something to tide over the difficult times that we do face. So that has to be taught in every school, college, every course, be it, even in MBBS, you have something called as legal ethics, legal rights of the doctors, of the healthcare workers. Start introducing that. Similarly, you go on to MBA finance, where you teach them business laws. Also teach them what is the financial laws. How will you protect? How will a woman be protected in a working environment? So this will provide all the literacy. Stocks, yes, stocks will help, but it is not something that is instilled in you, not something which you are examined on. But when you're examined on something, yes, that will help the women to go a step further than what they are today.
So I think this episode is going to be wonderful, as we talk about laws and, in every aspect of female, be it at home or at workplace or once you're married, everything we'll talk about it. But उससे पहले आप मुझे ये बताइए कि जब हम लोग टीवी पे देखते हैं, इन्हीं ड्रामा, इन्हीं सीरियल, पिक्चर्स, मूवीज़ में देखते हैं कि किस तरीके से एक केस जो अदालत में चलती है, दैट इज़ डिफरेंट, और जो आप लोग डेली अपने कोर्ट रूम में देखते हैं दैट इज़ डिफरेंट, या फिर एग्जैक्टली जैसे हम टीवी में देखते हैं वैसा ही होता है?
I would say it is as different as day and night.
Is it?
Yeah, there is no dusk or dawn in between that, maybe the facts of the case might be similar, but everything else is totally different. If you have grown up seeing movies like Damini and, where you say Tariq pe Tariq or Kyunki main jhoot nahi bolta or something like that, or serials like Adalat to that matter, हमारे courts वैसे नहीं है. It isn't. If you go to a court, it will be like you're walking into a commercial establishment, nothing else. So you can only find a judge sitting at a pedestrian, but everything else is totally different. Yes, so it isn't what we see on TV. Ours is more exciting.
So for me, I have also grown up in a family,
Mm-hmm.
my family, we have lots of lawyers, like my father, my brother. But throughout my childhood, I never saw my father, promoting me towards pursuing law in future. Usually ऐसे होता है ना कि अगर घर पे कोई है तो they ask you to कि आप pursue कर सकते हैं. He had something in mind, maybe because being in that field he felt कि शायद लड़कियों के लिए ये it's not a very good opportunity at that time, या फिर it's not a safe place. Now you being a female and you being into this system since like so many decades, what is your experience, and do you think कि सालों पहले से अभी तक में things have changed for girls, and this branch or this part of career could be taken as first choice, especially for females?
When I joined my profession in 2007, I swear to God, my first reaction to my mom was, Mom, I don't want to do this. It wasn't something that, it wasn't a woman friendly environment in the court. Saying that it wasn't, that we were not supported, we were supported, but basic amenities were missing. We did not have a washroom to go to. We were never thought anybody who would do anything except take dates. So what your father saw during his time in the court
Yeah.
was the reason he didn't want you to come
Yeah.
into that. But saying that in this 18 years of my journey in this profession, things have grown leaps and bounds. Today, I see so many females coming in, they want to be lawyers and they do argue. So, previously there was a misconception that women could not argue, women could not, do anything except take dates. But my seniors, whoever have taught me, whoever were behind me, they for some reason always pushed me. They told, okay, you go argue. If there's any mistake, we are there to cover for you. So I'm always grateful to my seniors, who have been behind me. But I have never seen my colleagues, seniors do that to them. What my seniors did to me, they would push me. They would say, "Go argue. It's nothing. It's no rocket science." And that's where I started getting the confidence. But then I would see when I am going to argue, and when they see that my senior is not there, but I am going to argue, they would, take it lightly, and the other side would really be mean,
Dominate.
try to dominate.
Yeah.
Because I had this very unique habit of reading books before the case, but not the case papers, because for me that would confuse me. That was my coping mechanism of doing it, because I would get scared initially. But then the judges were super nice. They would always, tell us, yes, tell, I am ready to hear. They would stop the typical male attitude of showing their dominance.
Yeah.
And they would allow me to speak.
Speak,
So the initial 6 months where I was learning, I was teething, my seniors are the only people I would say helped, pushed me, along with the judges who were there, but not my other male colleagues who were there at that time, because they would say that, oh, what, and they've said it on my face. Oh, what do you know? What do you know? What would you tell? But then I had to tell them I've read the same 5 years of law that they did,
Yeah.
and it is nothing different. And over the period of time, when they saw that I am stubborn and I'm not going to back down, that is when I started earning their respect too. But now things are so different,
Changed.
and they're so nice. I wish I was in this era
Yeah.
of joining law.
Things would have, the struggle would have been little
Less, yes, a little less, but no, I'm very happy that my seniors,
Yeah.
I had the right seniors and the right judges to push me to become what
Yeah.
I am today.
But I think those struggle made you a better and better, lawyer, because when you fight your own struggle, you learn from your own thing, and rather than someone teaching you or giving you a space.
I would say that uh, if that struggle was not there, maybe I would have gone another 500 kilometers ahead, instead of fighting my battles and losing my way there, just to stop and
Okay.
fight my battles.
Yeah.
Today I would be neck to neck with a lot of other people.
Okay. But have you seen then, the trend shifting that, now when girls are coming, they are confident, and how your male colleagues' perspective have changed when females are entering more? Is it the same? do they still feel no, that's a male job, and we have to dominate, or now they are accepting the presence of females?
I think I would rather, give all the credit to the Suits, the sitcom which was playing a few years back, because now all our male colleagues are more open.
Yeah.
They are more, the struggle that we faced as female advocates back then. The new generation doesn't have to face.
Yeah.
They are more open. They are more accepting, and when the acceptance comes, your the way you speak, your confidence, it increases. So then your struggle now is not to prove that a woman can be an advocate, but prove that you are an advocate,
Yes,
irrespective of
Your
your
gender.
gender. So now it has become more of gender neutral, and I'm happy that it is picking up.
Yeah. So all my female viewers, please mark this point as world famous Rachna ji is telling that you should come to law. Now it's become a very very better place, and as we dive deeper, now we are in this era of reels. सोशल मीडिया में बहुत सारे रील्स आते हैं कोर्ट रूम्स के. सो आर दीज रील्स फॉर रियल, मतलब आप शूट कर सकते हो? आर फोन्स अलाउड इन द कोर्ट रूम?
Phones are prohibited in the courtroom, and whoever is doing it illegally, and if found guilty, they will be arrested.
But we see a lot of things coming, na? Matlab,
कितनों को रोकेंगे हम?
yeah.
It is like, you stop one, your 100 more who are coming. Knowing, there's boards in the courtroom. It says that recording of anything is prohibited, usage of phone is prohibited.
Yeah.
Despite that, if you're doing it, what are you trying to prove? That you are a god, or you are a hero or a heroine? That is up to you if you are willfully breaking the law. But do remember, karma does come back.
That is so true. तो अभी let's go a little more deep and tell me कि आप 3 ऐसे लीगल लॉज बताओ जो एवरी फीमेल शुड बी नोइंग. मतलब हमको वो पता होना चाहिए वॉट एवर एज वी आर, मतलब जब से हम व्हेन वी स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग द वर्ल्ड वी शुड बी नोइंग द बेसिक्स. तो ऐसे 3 रूल्स जो यू वांट टू टेल.
First of all, I would like everybody to learn about your what was called as IPC, and now it has become BNSS. It is a more powerful law, the most powerful law that we have in our hand. So be very, very, very clear with that. The second, for all the working women, I would say the protection of workforce from sexual harassment, what you call as POSH. Please, please, please be compliant with that act, because that is one act which is the second most powerful act, but the most misused act by the woman.
Oh.
Yes. The third, I would say, is depending on which religion you belong to, know your personal laws. The personal laws are your Hindu laws, your Muslim laws, your Christian laws, your personal laws, which give you a lot of protection, which most of the women are unaware of. Because the personal laws tell you about your ancestral property, what right you have in your ancestral property, what is the succession, that is, in case somebody dies without a will, what is the way the succession happens according to each religion, because we do not have a uniform civil code still.
Okay.
So we need to go through the personal laws. So what is allowed, like in Islamic law, the Shariat law, the Muslim law that we say, the triple talaq, which was recently amended.
Yeah.
So people would, call up on the phone and say talaq, 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 and that was considered. But even under the Sharia law, that is not allowed. That goes according to the lunar cycle.
Okay.
So that is why the government and the court has laid down certain rules as to how triple talaq will take place.
Okay.
So these are the 3 laws I think you guys need to
know.
I wouldn't say go into deep and do a Google search and depend on Uncle
Yes.
Google, no. But maybe a brief outline
A
of
basic awareness.
a basic
about,
awareness, yes. But the most important is your BNSS, which will protect you at every step of your life.
So, like you were mentioning about this POSH, which started in 2013, right? So, like you also mentioned that it has been, like, since it has come into power, definitely it has played a very good role, but also been misused. So, why do you say that?
I would say that because POSH was something that was got in to protect women who were really facing harassment in whichever form in their workplace, be it their colleagues touching them, or they being, told ask for sexual favors in case in turn for the promotions, etc. But I have seen females who misuse this law by just because for all valid reasons they did not get the promotion, and the other person who got the promotion, they file false cases on them, saying that he asked. You're in a group of people, and one of your male colleague asks you, so how's your married life going on, or how's your life going on, and they get it on the posh. I do not understand how is that a posh. A posh question is, I agree. If you don't want to answer, say no. I do not want to answer this question.
Yeah.
And if you keep quiet, it is not posh. But yes, if he keeps asking, oh, are you happy in your married life? Is your husband satisfying you? Yes, then that is posh. I would not disagree to that. But just having a conversation in a group of people and somebody asking you, how's your married life, does not cover under posh. So there are these false cases that they file, that and somebody has a tattoo, you say, oh, nice tats, and you file a case saying that he's telling my tattoos are good. Do you think that is warranted to come under posh as a normal human being, leave alone a lawyer? Do you think that it is posh that I'm telling you, oh, you have a nice tattoo? But you can say that to a male, so the male cannot say that I have been sexually harassed. So
So how, what is the definition of sexual harassment? Like, where do you draw the line? See, even when you go to court, the court will have certain criteria, right? So what is, just a verbal talk like this, that your tattoo is nice, does not go into sexual harassment, right?
exactly, that's exactly what I'm telling you. But when a complaint is made, okay, I make a complaint. It is up to you to prove that the sexual harassment did not take place. Not
But
the
how
other way
will
around.
she prove that it
There is
happened?
no proving left. That is why it is the most misused law. That is the reason I told it's the most misused law.
So if so, you want to say that if any girl goes and complain about a male, like the opposite
Yes,
gender, right?
yes.
The girl does not have to prove that. The person who has been alleged
Of this has to
prove it.
which is very wrong.
Yeah, this is wrong, right?
Yeah, so
This is
this is
misuse
why
of-
I tell people do misuse this law. So, this is very similar to the situation that we had with the 490, that is the Domestic Violence Act, and the 498A is what you say when a wife is hit by her husband and her in-laws. So initially, when I joined, I had seen cases where, compact, may you take a darker shade and then just put it and apply it here, and they would say, see, my husband or my mother-in-law hit me, and the fact remains that is just makeup and nothing else. Similarly, they would hold it like this and
Put a mark, yeah,
मुझे
bruise
मार
kind of thing.
abuse किया, and I would say, how is it right? How and I wouldn't take that case for the simple reason, because I am here to support what is wrong, irrespective of the gender. So even if a woman I know has done something wrong, I will not take their case even if they give me $1 million. Simple as that. So the POSH Act has now become the 498A of that time. So they have to get some guidelines where men can protect themselves. I am not telling men are saints. No, I'm nowhere telling that. Sexual harassment happens. And now the definition of sexual harassment is very simple. Any advancement which makes you feel uncomfortable, any comment that makes you feel uncomfortable is
Sexual
sexual
harassment.
harassment. Yes, is harassment per se. They show you some photo and say, oh, why don't you dress up like this?
That's sexual
That is
harassment.
sexual harassment. They come and touch you on your back and you tell them, see, I'm not comfortable with any physical touch, and they do it. That is sexual harassment. But all your sexual harassment complaints have to be supported by physical evidence. But today posh is being misused, misinterpreted in a lot of places.
So is there no law where where a male, sometimes a male can also feel bad, if the females around them, or one particular female he's not happy about, he can also put the same thing? No, there's no such law.
There is no gender neutral law as of now for the sexual harassment case. And what you said is a fact. Men are equally sexually abused by their female bosses as the females are. The only thing is male with all their ego and मैं मर्द हूँ मैं बोलूँगा तो लोग क्या बोलेंगे
बोलेंगे।
उसमें they are so engrossed and wrapped in their own bubble of that they don't want to come out, which is wrong. Until they don't come out and speak, they do not come out till it's too late, where it has eaten them to an extent that they cannot survive. So I would suggest all males who are undergoing this kind of harassment, please speak up. Even if you're not covered under POSH, you are covered under sexual harassment ka this thing. Go to a police station, go to your seniors. Please give everything in writing. See, at this time, because now every hospital, every place has a CCTV camera, security
Yes.
cameras. Please get the cameras. That is your
Checked, yeah.
proof enough.
Yeah.
And get that, that part of this thing uploaded in your iCloud, so that you have enough evidence of all the letters you have sent, all the emails that you have sent. So let us try to make it a gender neutral thing, because it is not only that the females are affected, even the males are
Males are
affected.
affected.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, when we were talking about this, you also spoke about domestic violence. So, domestic violence is not only physical abuse, right? It can be a verbal abuse, it can be an emotional abuse, it can be also financial exploitation. So, does legally all these things, part of domestic violence, or only physical abuse is like considered as a domestic violence?
Under the law, the physical abuse, the mental abuse, the emotional abuse, all these three are considered as domestic violence, not the financial abuse, because financial abuse goes on to a different tangent, a different track altogether. But yes, physical violence, your emotional violence, your mental torture, all of this comes under this, the Domestic Violence Act. So it is not only that somebody has to physically hit you, but even if somebody gaslights you, makes you feel like you are an idiot when you're not, and makes everything you're this thing, that is very well a domestic abuse. It doesn't need to be physical.
Sometimes, they marry a girl with, with ambition and all, to show that, or maybe a doctor or maybe an engineer, to show that, see that my wife is an educated. That's also considered as an abuse or a domestic violence?
Only
Like
if
not giving them appropriate respect and appropriate, that kind of space what they need and what they deserve. So that is also considered as domestic abuse?
it is, see, domestic abuse is again, if you want to divide it into it, it isn't black and white. There are areas which are on the grey side, which are blurred. Something which you might feel is okay, I might feel is wrong. So it is again our perspective on what we feel has wronged us. So that comes under that purview. But saying that, suppose I'm a postgraduate, and luckily I am very thankful that my family, my husband and all support me. They are the wind beneath my wings to go and pursue. But I've seen so many people who are toppers in the college, and now they are just sitting at home as housewives, because their family does not allow them
Alone.
to work. I think that should come under this purview if she still wants to work, and but she's forced to sit at home, take care of the children, take care of her family, cook food, basically be a uh, पढ़ी लिखी काम वाली. If they wanted that, they should rather put a maid with 5,000 rupees a month salary rather than doing this. So I would say they have to voice their opinion. Only if an individual think that they're harassed, can somebody take a step forward.
Yeah.
You have to go and tell that, yes, I have been wronged. Only then, for all you know, your husband might not even know, or your in-laws might not even know that you feel that you have been wronged. Till you don't speak up, how will they know that? Even when a child is hungry, only when it cries or tells that I'm hungry, the mother can feed it.
No, but अगर कोई लड़की है जो शादी से पहले काम करती थी, एंड देन शादी के बाद उन्होंने काम छोड़ा, बट अगेन वो फिर से शी वांट्स टू रिज्यूम हर वर्क, बट द फैमिली इज नॉट अलाउइंग, तो शी कैन गो टू कोर्ट.
She can go to.
मतलब she wants to stay with the family. She wants
No,
because again in that case it has to be
once you go to court, then it is like, you have to choose either of them.
okay.
It
Okay.
cannot be both until and unless maybe you go with your family or with your husband to marriage counseling where you make them understand ki, okay, I am your wife, but that does not take away my identity of being a independent working woman. I need my financial independence. All of that. And where my money will go of what I'm working, I will not give you my money. I will rather give it to my parents or I will do my own investment. They have to open up and talk. And if the talks are not working, that means you're not compatible enough.
No, but then there are certain situations also where, maybe the girl's family is not supporting, or because of some that societal pressure, they don't want to separate and they want to be in the relationship, but they also don't want to compromise their happiness, and she wants to come up and do her work. So in those cases, what can be done?
I always tell everybody, log kya kahenge has killed more dreams and more people than anything in this world. Any epidemic, any pandemic, that has killed more dreams and people in this world. So similarly, if you want to work and your people are not accepting you, be it your parents, be it your in-laws, be it your husband, you decide. If you think you want to grow in your life, leave them all back. They're dead baggage to you. So, legally, as a lawyer, I would say stop suffering, stop fighting, and just divorce them, just leave them. I know it is not an easier, but you have to choose between your career and your family. You decide which has more pros and which has more
More
cons, and
cons.
then you take a decision. Because you cannot sail in two boats, at least legally not. Legally not. So you have to take a decision and take which path has less thorns and more gratitude and financial thing that you take.
So as we are moving now the things have changed. Maybe a decade before things were a little different, where females were not taking steps, but now they all make a well informed decisions. And also there is the concept of this prenuptial contracts and all. How legal it is, like in western country we know it's legal, but in India, how what is the legal position of these contracts?
The prenuptial contracts in India are very ambiguous. That is, no personal law recognizes it. The Hindu law does not recognize it. In Shariat law and the Christian law, you have something called as the meher, and similar thing in Christianity, where in the uh, at time of a marriage, you say if the divorce happens, what is it that you're going to give the. But people write 1 rupee, 100 rupees, and all. They do not understand what is written there is for their future. But वो टाइम पे कोई बुरी चीज के बारे में
नहीं सो
सोचेंगे नहीं.
yeah, exactly.
So but that concept still exists. But in Hindu law, it does not exist. Maybe 10 years back, the courts would not agree to the prenuptial agreement between this thing. But today, they do. It is not a valid. It is a valid contract. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling it is not the only thing that the court would depend on. But yes, while deciding financially how to give what to whom and for what is the reason, the prenuptial agreement is taken into consideration, I would say.
Okay. So
It's very
legally, it will be
ambiguous.
taken as a
Yes,
contract.
it is a
Okay.
contract.
Contract.
Yes.
So what do you think? मतलब because you spend a lot of time in court, seeing all these day and night. आपको क्या लगता है? Like should it be done or should it not be done?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we Indians, we बोलते हैं ना, कोई अच्छी चीज़ करे जब हम कोई बुरी चीज़ के बारे में सोचते नहीं है. So
yeah.
this, we do not, informed decision stops at one end for us. After that, whatever it is, we still believe in Bhagwan ki marzi and all that. So if you do a prenuptial agreement, yes, you are safe to a certain extent. But then even your laws, the courts will take its own interpretation of that. It isn't that if it's there, it is going to be followed. The court might follow it, the court might not follow it. But you want to make yourself feel a little more safer, please do it.
So ऐसे ही अभी भी इंडिया में वी हैव सीन दैट देयर इज अ कल्चर ऑफ डाउरी. मतलब अगर हम लोग उसको डाउरी बोलते हैं तो दैट बिकम्स इलीगल, बट स्टिल इन इन एनी पार्ट ऑफ द इंडिया यू गो, वेदर इट्स इन द नॉर्थ द साउथ, देयर इज दिस कॉन्सेप्ट जहाँ पे लड़कियों के घर से देते हैं, है ना. कुछ लोग मांगते हैं, कुछ लोग खुद से देते हैं. तो जब भी फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर लड़की के घर से उनके पेरेंट्स ने दिया है कुछ अमाउंट एंड द रिलेशनशिप डज नॉट गोज वेल एंड दे वांट टू डिवोर्स, नाउ दैट मनी बिकम्स इलीगल, राइट? ना तो वो बोल सकते कि हमने डाउरी दिया है, ना तो दे कैन से. सो how can because the relationship did not go well, and they also had that financial loss. Is there a way that they can recover that money? Obviously the alimony part and everything will come late, which we'll discuss, but this particular part, how can we, this particular amount, how can we take care of?
Do you know the concept of dowry? It wasn't dowry per se. It was um, from, I mean, ages ago. We have this concept that daughter is brought up in a certain environment. She's used to certain things, maybe a bed, maybe the utensils in which she cooks. She's used to that in her mother's house.
Yeah.
So that is the same is replicated in her in-laws
In-laws'
house,
house.
so that she does not
Have
feel
it.
the
Change.
difference and the change, because already she's not seeing her parents and all.
Yeah.
That is where the concept
Sort of.
started, but then it became a social evil where people would
Ask for it.
It is rather that they're selling their sons.
Yeah.
In a contract, there is one person offering service and the other person is offering money in exchange of that. So this is what it is. The girl is offering herself, ki I am going to be your wife, I'm going to be your legal ardhangini, I'm going to give birth to your children, and you're selling yourself to me. And then she's treated again like dirt, which is wrong.
Yeah.
So aajkal now, the instead of dowry, the concept is that of gifts.
Gifts. Yeah.
Yeah. So best thing is do not give gifts, but no marriage happens without that. But record everything. Keep your keep all your bills at least for 7 years. Keep all the आप जब दे रहे हो दूल्हे को, वो वीडियोग्राफर जो खाने की फोटो लेता है उसको
उसे
उसकी भी
अच्छी-
फोटो लो बोलो कि आप किसको क्या क्या दे रहे
रहे
हो,
हो।
कि दूल्हे की माँ को क्या दे रहे हो, दूल्हे की
Okay.
बहन को क्या दे रहे हो.
Okay, okay.
अब सस्ता में तो छूटेंगे नहीं. वो लोग को भी शिफॉन के साड़ी चाहिए, उनको भी सिल्क की सूट्स चाहिए, उनको भी गोल्ड चाहिए, ननंद को गोल्ड दो, मासी सास को गोल्ड दो. ये सब तो चलता ही रहता है. सो प्लीज़ मेक अ लिस्ट ऑफ, जब गोल्ड खरीदते हो खानदानी ब्लैक में मत खरीदो, वाइट में बिल के साथ खरीदो. बिल अपने पास रखो एंड लेट द बिल हैव द डिस्क्रिप्शन एंड लेट द वीडियोग्राफर टेक अ वीडियोग्राफ ऑफ एंड फोटोग्राफ ऑफ व्हाट इज बीइंग गिवन टू होम. आपने शादी पे कितना खर्चा किया, प्लीज डोंट यूज कैश, प्लीज यूज योर बैंक ट्रांजैक्शंस एंड सेव दोज फॉर 7 years, सो दैट मोस्टली जो होता है 7 साल के अंदर होता है. 7 साल के बाद अगर होता है तो वो ये वजह से नहीं होता है, दैट विल बी some other reason but not this.
Okay.
It's mostly in the first 7 years that all this, because of dowry or anything, will happen. Save this and use this to get your money back.
Okay. पर अगर किसी reason से the things started happening after 7 years and there is a pressure of to get more money from the family, मतलब girl की family से, so that is not considered as a dowry harassment anymore.
7 years is what is dowry harassment.
Okay.
Even if the death happens within 7 years, then it is dowry death. Otherwise, it is not considered as dowry
Achha.
death.
Okay.
Until and unless there is enough evidence to prove that. उसके बिना आपको नहीं होगा. 7 साल तक होगा, इसलिए हम 7 साल बोलते हैं रखो बोलकर.
अच्छा.
उसके बाद अगर होता है तो इट इज़ मोस्टली बिकॉज आपने बेटियों को जन्म दिया है, या things of that, like, or the husband is having an extramarital affair or anything of like that. So the once the 7 years itch is over, then it is mostly the other things that come into purview.
Please. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. अभी जब भी when we talk about divorces, तो court भी बहुत सारे aspects को देखती है and they calculate now, because if suppose a girl is non-earning, मतलब वो नहीं कमाती है, but still she is a part of family and she takes care of the family, but the male who has been providing है ना पैसे से उसके खर्चे का एंड एवरीथिंग, दैट इज़ अकाउंटेबल. मतलब वो कोर्ट देखती है कि इसने हस्बैंड ने इतने सालों तक उसको प्रोवाइड किया है. तो हाउ टू, बिकॉज even though she's not earning, she has given those many years of her service to the family, right? तो अब वो तो काम से या whatever way से she has put it, but this guy has given money and provided her and all those things. How do we balance it? मतलब court उसको कैसे balance करती है? Does court acknowledge that this girl has been a part and she has been taking care of the family? तो क्या वो monetary system को और this aspect को acknowledge करते?
See, when you say that the woman is not working, that means she's a homemaker.
Yeah.
And a homemaker is the most difficult profession, I would say, in this universe.
Yes.
Because they don't have 1 minute of peace anywhere. They have to look after the house, cooking. Then, and all people in the house treat her like dirt.
Yes.
Because The only thing is she's not working, but they don't understand what she is doing. She has to be replaced by four different people: a cook, a maid, a driver. Today, a woman drives. So, all of that. So, what the court does mostly is it gives a percentage of the husband's salary to the wife for
Okay.
her maintenance. Suppose the husband is earning 1 lakh and they would give X amount to the wife. Then, if the children are with her, then X amount for the children's upkeep and X amount is going to the husband. So, they are not, unfair to either parties or the children. So, they make sure that everybody is taken care of. Suppose even the in laws are there and the son is the only providing earning member in the family. So, then they'll make equally that, okay, if the wife gets this much, the husband will
Husband
still
gets.
have enough for his
Family.
mother, father, his upkeep and all that. So even his life doesn't end after this. So that is why the courts are very fair to this extent while calculating. There is no menu card rule. It is the judge sees. That is why the judge is a judge and at a pedestrian, because they have to see, they have to acknowledge everything, and they have to be fair and right, so that nobody feels unfair or nobody feels that they have been robbed of something. So the judge takes care of that.
Okay. But how do you think divorce cases in India, matlab dealing a divorce case in India, uh, is different from what we see in Western countries, especially in US and all? Is it very expensive? Is it very time taking? Does it it takes away all your energy? Because I am sure it's not easy. But again, in India, we all, like you were saying ki date tarik pe tarik things also happen.
Yes.
So how easy or how difficult it is for someone who is going through it, like the whole process, and how expensive it is, because again they have to go to they have to pay to the lawyer, they have to pay for small documentations that are happening, then again dates and all those things.
See, when I started my profession in 2007, post that I had gone for my master's and I was working in Australia as a lawyer. What I had seen in the early 2000s was people in the Western side, Western hemisphere, are more open to the concept that yes, the incompatibility exists. Compatibility does exist. So today, if you and me are friends, tomorrow maybe we might just grow apart. It is not that you are wrong or I am wrong, or either of us has done something wrong. It is just that our goals have changed, because every day our goals change. Every day our the destiny what we dream about today changes. So incompatibility is the major reason even in India for divorces. But in India, people do लाइक आई सेड, लोग क्या कहेंगे, हमारे खानदान में किसी का डिवोर्स नहीं
नहीं
हुआ,
हुआ।
तू कैसा डिवोर्स ले
Yes,
सकती है?
yes.
शादी के बाद लड़की का सिर्फ ससुराल होता है, तेरी सिर्फ अर्थ ही वहाँ से
Yeah.
जाएगी. Even today in 2025 I hear those dialogues from the girls' parents. But today, last 5 years, I would say, post COVID, there is a shift that I've seen where people have realized that you have only one life, you live only once, the YOLO concept which has come. So neither party wants to divorce, wants to live in a loveless marriage or an incompatible marriage. They're like, okay, dude, we have invested in a flat. You take one room, I take one room. We will live like roommates, and I have people who do that. And once you go for a divorce like that, that is what we call as a mutual consent divorce. It is the cheapest and the most non-exhausting way to get a divorce. Because within 6 months, the 6 months is called the cooling off period, where you have from the time of you filing the divorce that आप जो है decide कर सकते हो you want to go back to your spouse or not. So the 6 months you are together, you're different but still you're together. So at the end of 6 months you say, no dude, not happening. Yes, we come to the court, we sign documents, divorce is done. And the cheapest and the most easiest way जहाँ पे आपको कोई खर्चा नहीं है. But then when there's no support and खानदान का ईगो आता है, आपका ईगो आता है, मैं क्यों डिवोर्स दूँ उसको, मैंने अपनी पूरी जवानी उसको दी है, अब क्यों डिवोर्स दूँ, जब वो आता है, ईगो इक्वल्स एक्सपेंस. Simple as that. Because the contested divorce that we say, when one which you file and you keep fighting for years together, that is going to be mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially exhausting for you. So I would suggest, you are not compatible, go ahead for a divorce, which is a cheap best, which is a mutual consent divorce. नहीं हो रहा है, आपको लड़ना ही है हर चीज पे, then be ready to be exhausted from all angles.
And what do you think, like what's the main reason कि अब divorce के जो incidents हो गए वो really high हो गए? Is it because more interference from the family, or is it because now because females are also earning, so they think कि नहीं मुझे ज़रूरत नहीं है, or also because the extramarital thing has become really like a trending thing, or generally, what are the other reasons?
There's not one reason. Like I said, COVID has taught us a lot. कोविड में बंदा घर के बाहर गया, घर वापस नहीं आया, and he lost his life. We have seen so many of our family and friends
Yes.
go away like that. That has somewhere clicked in people that, let us not waste our lives. That is one of the major reasons. Yes, family interference is one of the reasons, but it comes very low on this thing. And now, like you said, extramarital affairs. People are telling, okay, you want to have extramarital affairs, I'll also have them. The other partner is not okay with it. They're like, if I can have you, why will you have? How can you have? So there are a lot of small things that
Exactly.
snowball effect hota hai and all. But I've seen the latest generation is open to the concept of divorce. When they get married, they don't want to get married in that shosha destination wedding kind of a thing. They want to get married in simple, court marriage kind of a thing. Throw a party for friends and save that money. Go
Yeah.
traveling. You travel as friends. You get bored. Okay, you're divorcing. यहाँ पे कोई खर्चा नहीं हुआ है. There's nobody who can say कि मैंने इतना लगाया, तूने इतना लगाया. They don't want gold jewelry. They don't want any of the bhari stuff that the parents want to give. So they're open. They're turning a new leaf, I would say, in a good way. But I would also say they are being very in this. They're with Amazon ke saath, they have become like use and throw thing. They don't want to work on their marriage to save it. I am not saying that everything has to be like that, but small things, interdependence has to be there.
There.
It is not you and me. There is a small portion of us also,
Yes.
and we need a companion.
Yes.
We need be it a male or a female, we do need a companion with whom we go home, we just speak about how a day was, how this thing was, that you will not get in your one night stands or your affairs. You're not going to get that only a person who loves you for who you are and is not genetically linked to you can give it to you.
Yes.
So people should also try to mend and not break it off at the slightest of this thing.
Things.
खाना ठीक नहीं बना सकती, उसके
उसके
लिए
लिए
डिवोर्स
divorce,
इज
yeah,
रॉन्ग.
yeah.
हाँ, हमारे गोल्स डिफरेंट हो गए हैं, हम इनकम्पैटिबल है, हमें हमें अब पता लगा है, आप डिवोर्स ले रहे हो, ओके एक्सेप्टेबल. बट खाना नहीं बना सक रही, तेरे को आता है खाना बनाना, तू बना ले, वो बाकी का काम करेगी. या इसको कुछ नहीं आता है, आप कर लो. आप यू आर ऑल्सो अ ह्यूमन,
Yeah.
and she is also a human. So instead of treating her like a maid, like instead of a rani, you are treating like no kamo ki rani. Just treat her like a human. You do the cooking, she'll do the cleaning. Or if
Yeah.
she's better at cooking, she'll do the cooking, you do the cleaning. Don't expect her or only one partner to do it.
Let's go to a bit of a dark side where we talk about rape. Okay. We see a lot of incidences of rape has increased, and we see a lot of rape cases which are being discussed. There are 2-3 major rape cases that has happened. But if someone is a rape victim, and what is the first thing that the victim and the family members should know about the incidents, should do and should not do?
Rape is the most heinous of a crime that anybody can commit. And the first thing that everybody around the victim should do is not to make her feel that it was her choice or it was because of her that she was raped. That's the first and the foremost thing, be it the family, be it the doctor. Today, the woman does not report it because she's like, I will be anyway blamed. So why should I tell anybody? And then once she suppose tells her family, the family is like, अरे तेरी वजह से बाप की पगड़ी उछल गई, माँ का आंचल उछल गया, खानदान की इज्जत मिट्टी में मिली. नहीं, उसकी वजह से कुछ नहीं हुआ. She is a victim here. Please accept her as a victim and don't tell her जा कपड़े बदल नहा, and because you're destroying all the evidence here. Please do not do any of those. The first thing that you have to do is take her to a hospital, a government hospital which is near you, or any private hospital. And all private hospitals and government hospitals are given kits by the government of India.
Okay.
Post Nirbhaya, every hospital has a kit which has everything that is needed to collect evidence, right from the saliva slabs to the semen sample to getting the nail clippings, the hair clippings, any foreign bodies anywhere on the body, bite marks which are there, which that are checked, any wherever on her body she has hurt, be it burns, bite marks, scratches, everything is taken. Any type of DNA sample which is there on the female, it is taken. Post that, she is given all the medications that are necessary, be it for any of HIV, be it prophylactic medicine, be it for hepatitis B, C, pre pregnancy check, eye pill जो आपका होता है, everything she is given so that she is safe from all of these. Her blood is checked, whether she was roofied, whether anything was given to her, because all this is there. And the doctor's role is to call the police. The police officer will be there, who will take everything. Everything is sent to the forensics, and that is where the case starts.
Okay.
It isn't that, how it is shown in the movie, that the woman is made to feel like she's
Yeah.
the victim. She's because it is because of her that it has happened. It is not like that. Everybody has that kind of empathy to save her. Everybody is angry that it has happened to her, that she was not safe, because everybody sees their daughters, their wives, and their sisters there, that even they would do the same thing for them. So it isn't how it is portrayed in the television shows and everything. We are more empathetic towards them, even the lawyer who comes to ask questions, everything. And the time is of the essence here, because the woman at that time can understand, can tell more better of what all happened with her, who was the person, what was where it happened. The timeline would be better, so that would help the police to catch the culprit. And the culprits do not go scot free. They do not go scot free. They are charged, they are put in the jail, the case goes on, and they are held guilty with sufficient evidence.
So in that situation, we need to go to the doctor first,
Nearest-
like not to the police station.
The police station, if you go, you have that 24 hours window where you have DNA samples alive, where you can take. So the first
Okay.
thing, what would you do?
Okay.
The doctor would anyway call the police.
Police, yeah.
Or while going to the hospital, you call the police. Ki, please, I'm going to this doctor with the victim.
Okay.
Please come there. They would come.
Okay. And what's the doctor's role here? Like, can they deny the patient, or they have to take the patient, they have to call the police, and then, he should be managing the situation? Or at that particular point of time, if the doctor doesn't want to indulge into it, does the doctor have the right to say no?
If you are a hospital which has multi specialities, like, you cannot suppose go to a dental hospital and expect them to do that.
Yes.
That doctor has a right. But going to a normal hospital or a government hospital, no doctor can deny you that right.
Okay.
The doctor, you have to be very sure the doctor cannot do the 2-finger test.
Okay.
That is illegal to do a 2-finger test. You want a female doctor, you have a right to ask that I need a female doctor to examine me. So the doctor, if you're a normal hospital with a normal doctor, you cannot deny that to the patient.
Okay.
The patient will be agitated naturally. She has gone through severe trauma.
Yes.
So you have to be more gentle.
More gentle, and you have to handle it with more calm
With
and wisdom.
utmost care and calmness, you have
Yes,
to.
yes.
Even see, everybody has to be sensitized. The police are sensitized. The lawyers are sensitized on how to deal with them.
Yes.
The doctors, being in the profession, seeing that something has happened, they have to make sure that they sensitize the staff on
Yeah.
how to.
Yeah.
I've seen this was a long time ago, donkeys years ago, where there was a rape victim and she was taken to a hospital, and I heard a daya. I overheard a daya team. उसे की गलती होंगी, पैर खोली होंगी इसलिए हुआ उसको.
Mhm.
That she's already hearing
In
that.
Yeah.
Although what you tell later is not going to change
yes.
what she has already
Yeah.
heard. So better sensitize your
Yeah.
staff to
Because
that.
at that point of time, that giving that mental peace and also taking care of her mental health also becomes very, very
It is
important.
the most important thing. It is the
Because-
most important
Yeah.
thing, because she is already suicidal at that time.
Yes. Coming a step ahead, marital rape is also a thing. Like, we heard in a movie Pink, where, Amitabh Bachchan says that, when a girl says no, it means no. So what does law says when, when a couple who is married and the wife does not want to indulge in this kind of situation, what are the rights of the lady who's married?
As per law, marital rape is not a rape.
Okay.
It is not a rape. That no means no is for anybody who's not married.
Okay.
Anybody who's not married or somebody having an extramarital affair and the woman says no, that means a no. She said no, but उसकी आंखों से और उसके आदतों से ऐसा लगा कि वो yes बोल रही है. That interpretation is not up to you. If it's a clear no from the woman, it is a no. But once you're married, the concept of marital rape does not exist.
Exist.
In
Okay.
law. In
In law.
reality, it does exist, but in law, it does not exist.
So that can be taken as like sexual abuse, right? Which can be like one of the thing to go for divorce or something.
No.
So
Sexual
that's not taken as sexual abuse.
No.
Okay.
But if there are any other factors like she has been mentally abused, mentally physically abused, or he's having an affair, adultery is one of the reasons for a divorce.
Okay.
So adultery can be a reason for a divorce, but not until and unless he's like that inhuman kind of a thing who is a sadist and who likes everything that is unnatural. Then yes, you can go in for a divorce.
Okay. So, do you think that the law which exists now is a bit more, towards females, or it's like a gender neutral kind of law that we are into now in India?
Although we have gender neutral laws, the law is a little bit in, the scales tip a little more towards the female.
Females.
But I would not say जैसे पहले था कि everything is for the female, औरत रोती है तो उसको मिलता है, वैसे नहीं
नहीं
है.
है.
Now they apply all the rules, principles and all, and they also accept that men are also harassed. So although we are gender neutral to a very large extent, a certain things are there which takes it towards the female, but it does not put the scale pura in the female's side. It is just that yes, it might tip a little, but there has to be more things that will make the case in the female's favor. It's not just the law.
Okay. मुझे सिर्फ एक बात बताइए, अगर कोई कपल इज गोइंग थ्रू अ डिवोर्स, ठीक है, अभी एंड दे ऑल्सो हैव अ चाइल्ड एंड द चाइल्ड इज विद द मदर, तो कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ में तो पूछते हैं कि व्हाट द हस्बैंड डिड, व्हाट द वाइफ डिड, एंड द वाइफ इज नॉट वांटिंग अ डिवोर्स और व्हाट एवर, शी डजंट वांट टू डिवोर्स, शी डजंट वांट टू स्टे ऑल्सो, द चाइल्ड इज विथ हर. When we see the accountability, the court sees accountability, बट वो मदर जो सिंगल मदर है वो उसने तो बहुत कुछ देखा है ना, द फियर ऑफ रेजिंग अ किड अलोन, then also taking care of the mental health of herself, the mental health of the kid, and every day there is a fear if something happens, managing alone, because बहुत सारी चीज़ें हो सकती है, some medical emergency can happen. तो ये जो accountability है, does law give something? Because see, here we are talking about emotional baggage, we are talking about other things apart from money, monetary terms से निकाल के दूसरे aspects के बारे में बात करें. क्या ये सारे फैक्टर कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ में अकाउंटेबल है? विल द जज थिंक ओवर इट कि शी हैज़ गॉन थ्रू सो मच बिकॉज शी हैज़ टू टेक केयर ऑफ हर मेंटल हेल्थ, बच्चे का मेंटल हेल्थ, बट द हस्बैंड डज नॉट हैव टू. तो ये सब अकाउंटेबल होता है? कैन दिस बी पुट फॉरवर्ड टू द जज? इज देयर एनी लॉ जहाँ पे इस एस्पेक्ट को भी एक इक्वल इम्पोर्टेंस दिया गया हो?
See, when you go for child maintenance and child custody, the judge looks into every aspect. So that is why the judge themselves will tell you that go in for joint custody of the child, so that not one parent is burdened with taking care and the upkeep of the child. Similarly, the child is also not deprived of the love and affection of the other parent. So the judge will look into, because the judge will look into all the facts. See, you have to understand what's the role of a judge. Lawyer is the one who will interpret what the client wants and tells to the judge. Judge is a third party. Similarly, there'll be the husband's side of the lawyer, there'll be wife's side of the lawyer. They'll put in their part of the story, jo bhi hai, where the wife says he's wrong, the husband says she's wrong. The judge is a neutral party. The judge will look into it as a third party. So the first thing the judge will always tell is go in for a joint custody. Child, okay, during the school days the child can stay with the mother, on the weekends the child can stay with the father, which I think is fair. So that the mother has a break at that time where she can concentrate on something she likes. Similarly, one vacation, one holidays, suppose Dasra holidays the child is with the father, the summer holidays the child is with the mother, and the next year they can exchange it. So that two small holidays they go to one parent and one big holiday they be with one parent. So that way both parents have access, and especially the mother, she gets a break, even if it's for 2 weeks or 4 weeks and that helps the mother a lot. Even that 1 day break, if she just sleeps or
Yeah.
finishes her work, घर साफ कर लो या जो pending shopping है, just go on a girls' night out. That itself is enough. So yes, the judge does look into the complete picture and will always suggest. So now suppose one of the party does not exist, he cannot force that party to do it. Although if he feels that yes, order has to be passed in that thing, he will pass an order keeping in view of everything. So that's why I say that the judge is at that pedestrian, because they have to take the most important decisions which can change a person's life. But they keep everything in perspective and only then take.
Okay. And what's the alimony scenario in India? Like, does every female who is married is bound for alimony? उन सबको मिलेगा? Or things have changed for working women? Or sometimes ऐसा भी होता है कि female earns more, तो उनका जो हिस्सा होता है टू गेट एलिमनी वो कम हो जाता है. बिकॉज आई थिंक अभी दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने कुछ तो ऑर्डर पास किया था वेयर दे सेड वर्किंग वुमेन शुड नॉट बी गेटिंग, दे आर नॉट एंटाइटल्ड फॉर एलिमनी. सो ये एक कोर्ट ने अगर दिया है कुछ ऑर्डर, तो इट हैज़ टू बी एप्लीकेबल इन ऑल द स्टेट्स एंड ऑल द प्लेसेस.
Every court's order is based on that case. That is what we call as a precedent. So for one case, if we have 50 cases in your favor, there'll be 50 cases against you. So it all depends on the lawyer's part of how we convince the judge that you have to look at our point of view, our point of view is right. But even this thing given by the Supreme Court is not applicable. It's not a umbrella cover or blanket rule. No, it is case to case basis. That is why it is called a precedent. Now, coming back to the question on how the law has changed. The law has changed now because if it's a working woman, you mostly do not get an alimony because you are already working. Or, so how women misuse this, they'll be working and just before filing the case, they'll leave the job.
Oh.
And they say, oh, I'm not working, so you have to give me alimony or maintenance. So that's how we found the loop. And बोलते ना गेहूं के साथ गुण भी पिसता है. This is an exact example. So the person who's actually who might be a graduate or maybe a postgraduate, but she's not working ever since she got married, उसका यहाँ पे खाते में problem आता है फिर. So this is how they misuse it. So now it is like, and suppose a woman is earning more than the men. So naturally women, जब तक आदमी पूछेगा नहीं, औरत के हिस्से से उसको मिलेगा नहीं कुछ भी. लेकिन अगर पूछेगा, recently one of the courts did find that the woman was earning more and she had to give an X amount to the husband because the husband asked. So if you want something, please ask. Give proof that your wife is earning 2 lakhs a month and you are earning 80,000 a month, and ask for 20,000 from her so that both of you are at an equal pedestrian. But saying that if a working woman is taking a divorce, she will not get an alimony. But if the children are living with her, she will get child support.
Okay. तो आपके साथ जो मेरा कॉन्वर्सेशन था उससे ये बात समझ में आई कि वॉट एवर यू आर प्रेजेंटिंग इन द कोर्ट इज़ ऑलवेज ऑन द लॉयर्स हैंड. मतलब वो लॉयर जो है दे कैन चेंज एनीथिंग. तो वो सच को झूठ को सच बनाना, जज के सामने वो प्रेजेंट करना, वो एक लॉयर का काम होता है. एम आई राइट इन व्हाट आई एम सेइंग?
टू अ सर्टेन एक्सटेंट यस, बट झूठ को सच, सच को झूठ हम नहीं बना सकते. इट इज़ जस्ट दैट वी कैन से दैट दिस इज़ नॉट ब्लैक, this is dark gray, which is not wrong. It is just a different perspective. Similarly, we would say that this is not gray, this is off-white. So it is not झूठ को सच बनाना. हम एक interpretation कर रहे हैं. जैसे 6 and 9 होता है. From where I am sitting, it is 6. From where you are sitting, it is 9. So when I say 6 and you say 9, neither of us are wrong. But from where you are sitting and I am sitting, both of us are wrong. So that's a similar thing. It is not that, it is how you interpret every statement and how I convince you that my interpretation is right. And how you interpret and tell the judge that your interpretation is right is what is a lawyer's job.
So this is what we have to learn from her, ki how to interpret things and get the things done in our favor.
Yes. How can you call black dark gray? Yeah, the charcoal gray.
Yeah. मुझे बस जाते जाते एक बात बताओ कि इंडिया में क्यों जो भी केसेस चलते हैं उसको एंड करने के लिए इतना टाइम लगता है?
There are too many factors involved. But now a lot of things has changed thanks to the BNS, the BNSS, and the new codes which have come in, wherein they've put timelines on everything. We were following the old laws which were made in the 1800 and the 1700. जब लोगों के पास टाइम था, आज लोगों के पास टाइम नहीं है. जब वही लॉज यहाँ अप्लाई करोगे तो वही होगा. तारीख 6 महीने की मिल रही है, साल की मिल रही है, बट नाउ इट हैज़ चेंज्ड. Last 4 years, a lot of things have changed where the dates have become shorter, the cases are getting solved, and you're getting a outcome out of it. But again, the problem starts ki you go to a certain extent, you either don't have the judges or the judges change, and then you start again, go back 2 steps,
Zero
and then
and then.
start again. So maybe those things now where the judiciary is working on and increasing the judges, that will solve a lot of these problems. And maybe 5 years down the line, we will never ever have to say that India mein litigation bole to जिंदगी निकल जाएगी. नो, आई एम सीइंग अ चेंज, अ वेव ऑफ चेंज विच इज कमिंग, where everything is getting resolved at the earliest. So this is a very welcome change even for us, because we also get new cases then.
So on that note, we have Rachna ji ending the conversation. And आपको अपने legally कुछ भी questions है तो you can write to us, and I'll make sure कि रचना जी उसका आंसर ज़रूर करे.
Pakka.
So we got a thumbs up from her also. Thank you so much for coming, because I think we spoke about a lot of things, and definitely we'll do another one where we'll come up with more topics, because it's a never ending. There are so many laws and so many things that we have to talk about. But this is just the beginning of legal literacy, जहाँ पे हम सबको अपने rights के बारे में at least basic awareness तो होना चाहिए. तो thank you so much, Rachna ji, for coming and spilling all the information that we at this point require. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for inviting me. And I'm happy if I can educate even one woman of her rights,
Yeah,
and they can
yes, that's
fight
so true.
for their
Yeah,
rights.
that's the aim of this podcast, that we can change life of at least one female also. The mission is done.
Yes, agree 100%.
Thank you so much.